Have you checked out Change Cars yet? That's the website where you can find your next car because they only list cars from franchise dealers, giving you total peace of mind. That's changecars.co.za.
Hello, Alan.
Hey, back. And a slightly different background for a change. We haven't done this background in a while.
Much more improved because I'm in it.
No. Really. But anyway, good to see you, Will.
Likewise.
Yeah.
Likewise.
No,
Citroen
for sure.
C3.
Citroen C3. We were both on the launch and had it on test. You snaffled it from me for a few days
Let's get
while we had it on test.
something out of the way.
Yes.
And we mentioned it at launch.
Yeah.
Why did they call it a C3?
I do not know. It should have been the C2. Because go back, 10 odd years?
Yeah.
There was the little C2, which was a two-door. That's the only real difference. But as is the norm in the market these days, next generation gets bigger.
Yeah.
So it would have been a perfect natural progression.
Exactly.
But what they've done is they've gone smaller for once.
And it's one of those cars that's got to be contender for cheapie of the year.
Oh, look. In budget category,
anything under 250 these days,
cheapie has suddenly jumped to 250.
That's right.
I mean, I'll work on that cutoff with you.
I mean, what is the cheapest car you can buy these days?
The Espresso at, I think, what is it, 160, 170, somewhere about.
Okay, that's basically just a box with
engine. And I mean, then you've got, for example, the Celerio Vitz combination, 184 or 190, depending on which brand. And that's pretty much where it starts nowadays.
And the Citroen is priced at 227.
Yeah, 230, 229, 900. But hang on, wait.
Now,
so you got to take one thing before you start. The C3 is a size bigger than those other two we just discussed. The Celerio / Vitz combination and one or two others, okay?
Bigger is always better.
And bigger is, it's a category up.
Yes, absolutely.
It is. Now, I had got slated for saying this at the launch, but I'll say it again. To me, that is not just a B segment hatchback. It's actually a crossover SUV.
It is approaching that.
If they can call, as in the vicinity, Suzuki, I'm not picking on you guys, but if you can call the Espresso and the Ignis crossover SUVs,
then
the C3 is in that category.
Exactly.
180 miles of ground clearance, by the way.
If you're comparing that, if you're doing it on that basis, then you have to.
You have to.
If you're climbing into that kitchen, you've got to take the heat.
Correct.
So spot on.
I'm saying no, it's not a small hatch. It's a small crossover SUV. So that's point one. Point two is what Citroen have done on the South African model. Very cleverly, there's only one spec available. Okay. I think it deserves to be successful. I think they're going to expand the range.
I hope so.
And I'm sure they will bring in an auto version.
I mean, this. I think that Citroen have got this one at exactly the right market, exactly the right spec. Exactly the right spec. First-time car buyers, students.
I disagree with you there. You know what? No. I have to disagree with you.
Where?
You say it's just the right spec.
Because you want to disagree.
They have overspected for the money. That's where I'm disagreeing. It's generous.
It's actually genuinely impressive in terms of what they've done. But
I mean, that wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto,
and all of a sudden,
where do you expect that?
Why is this now a premium thing? It's no longer
10-inch screen.
Exactly.
It's little things like that really count.
They're not that little. And it just shows it can be done. It should be standard across
everywhere. Yeah. I mean, I would be very interested. This is actually some homework for you for a change.
No.
What's the next car up available in South Africa right now with wireless
AACP?
Yeah. Hey, come back to me on it.
Yeah, it'd be interesting.
Come back to me on it.
It'd be interesting.
Yeah.
There'll be quite a few
It's going to be a jump.
But now that Citroen have done it, I bet you everybody's going to suddenly play catch up and get it on.
There are the few guys around that have got the touch screens, etc. And I'm going to mention the Quid was the first one at that end of the market that suddenly had a decent touch screen with compatibility, right? Well done there.
Yeah.
Now the market caught up with them.
Yeah.
Now everyone suddenly got it, as you say.
Yeah.
So who's going to catch up next? Okay, so it's got that.
It's a solid little car.
It's solid. It's got nice performance.
Yes, exactly. Surprisingly good performance actually from a little 3-cylinder.
Okay,
but
now compare it to again those other ones we mentioned earlier, the little hatches. It's a 1.2 three-cylinder. Most of the others are 1 liter three-cylinders. It's 61 kilowatts, 115 newton meters. Most of those others, and I'm sorry, I'm not knocking because I'm saying separate, are 50 kilowatt, 90 newton meters. So there's a difference. There is a step up. Again, this is where I'm saying they are not actually fighting in the same segment.
No.
But they're fighting price-wise.
But they're fighting on the price, and that's exactly it. And it's surprisingly good.
You know what a lot of, I mean, do you want to laugh? Do you know the biggest, well, not the biggest, but one of the negatives I've picked up, a lot of people have been chirping about it.
What, on the C3?
On the C3. That it's got the little stalks, manual stalks to adjust the wing mirrors.
Oh, yes.
And they're not electric.
You don't have electric side mirror adjustment.
They're not motoring journos who change cars every 5 minutes. They are planning to sell these to youngsters.
Who gets in the car, drives it, and
drive it for the next 3-5 years.
And you said those.
How many times are you going to change the mirrors?
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, the single most redundant feature on any car is an electric mirror adjustment.
Well,
it's nice to have. But
it's honestly, coming to the electric seat adjustment that I comment on. How often do you use it?
Electric seats, when they're there, I use them a lot.
Yeah,
I do.
Yeah, but I say we do. But your average, I'm sorry, I've got to say Joe Average, who buys a car, drives it, doesn't adjust these things all the time.
No.
Do you have to pay for these extra things? There's the question mark. The other thing I've got to comment, you mentioned it's a solid little car, it goes nicely.
And the road noise on it is surprisingly quiet.
And what they've done
speaks to
is, but also they had to put the French flair. Okay, or not even the French flair, the Citroen flair. Okay, where slightly different looks. You
doesn't have gas suspension.
No, it doesn't have gas, but it's got very comfortable seats.
It has.
Just that, probably that 1 millimeter thicker foam than some of the competitors. But somehow they just do this, and you can feel it under your bum. You feel it. It's got a very smooth ride.
Yes.
Very compliant.
Yes.
The gearbox is nice, easy 5-speed manual. As I said, I still think in today's world they need an auto option.
Maybe it'll come. It
was kind of half hinted at the launch. I questioned it, and I wasn't given a definite. But you know what the thing is? If they bring the auto, they would kind of spoil that pricing point. Because then it would be 245,
it's going to come
250.
It's exactly that.
Yeah, and the whole thing was this bringing it in under 230. Boom, psychological barrier. So I see what they did, because it's funny. The market always looks at the top spec model. They don't look at the bottom spec and say, "Oh, you brought it in under that barrier." So I think
that's why I think bringing one model very clever to launch.
Well, Ford have done that with the Rangers and especially the Everests.
I want to
bring the couple models, then the rest.
I want to see how the C3 sells, because just speaking of Ford and Hilux, you saw what Hilux did to Ford in terms of the numbers. It's insane. I'm saying
I don't get it.
The Range is the best buggy on the market, but it's just until the new Hilux comes.
Until the next Hilux comes, there's no doubt.
A spanking. So every time
4,000 to 2,000.
Every time I get where I think cars should be sold, I am spectacularely wrong.
You see,
I'm always wrong.
You just can't.
But you also got it wrong with Rangers.
On Ranger, no. I don't know. There's something weird. And just talking that quickly now, we're totally digressing.
I know. I'm just saying.
Isuzu D-Max, 100 under Ranger.
Exactly. Let's just say the C3 is a terrible car, because they're going to sell millions of them, and they deserve to sell millions. Right? You agree with me that it deserves to sell?
No, this thing deserves.
I don't think there's anything to touch it. Okay, it's got the Citroen badge on it. Maybe its biggest Achilles heel. But get over it, people.
Hey,
get over it.
You know what?
It's really a solid car.
And we'll finish here. Until 2 years ago, that badge could have killed it. With the way South Africans have suddenly accepted all the new brands, all the new Chinese brands, get lost on telling me that brand is what counts anymore.
And I think Stellantis have got in there and sorted that little out.
But I'm saying besides that, it's your flipping pocket that counts. The value you're getting on this car. Please drop this brand nonsense. As you say, Stellantis are totally aware of the history of parts and blah, blah, blah.
And that's all
nonsense.
All done now.
I have proven it with my own family with a Peugeot recently. no, there are no more problems. Done.
Buy one.
Get one quick because they are nice, and I don't know how long this price can last.
That's it.
That's it. See you next time.